off that exhausting hamster wheel and into balanced living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KZAA, NBC News, CNBC News, NBC Sports Radio Station, AM 1050, FM 106.5, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, TuneIn, Audible, Amazon Music, Tiki Live, Rumble, Podchaser, Streaker, and more. Why so many places? I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So there's no gossip, no scandal, no headlines here. All headlines now are negative. I can safely say that. It used to be most. Now it's all. And I don't want to see you pissed off first thing in the morning. So this is the 700th consecutive week for this show about hope and happiness. I'm so glad you're here. And you'll know from who's in studio with me, my beautiful Inside It Out co-host, Dr. Tiffanie Tate, that it's time for Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
And who is she? You know who she is, but just in case you're the first time in studio with me, she is a U.S. veteran, Navy, actually, and she is a published author. She's a certified OBGyn. She is a children's book author, and you'll hear during the break, she has thrown her hat into the ring to be a Congress representative. So please welcome back to my studio, Dr. Tiffanie Tate. Welcome.
Thank you. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Always a pleasure to be here, letting my voice ring true to your ear.
Oh, nice. She's a poet and knows it. Let's start with breakfast. Y'all know this is the drill at the top of every show. I like to have breakfast with my guest, my co-host, and you. So we take a bite of my gratitude sandwich. Top of the bun is what are you grateful for outside of yourself? So you do a 180 looking around. And then bottom of the bun is what are you grateful for inside of yourself? Appreciation of who you are. So Dr. Tiffanie, why don't you start? What are you grateful for?
Whew, I have been a very, very busy bee since you last spoke to me. You know that last week I was live from Washington, D.C. Well, when I returned that Sunday, I went to the Corona Book Fair, and I was able to present and sign and sell my books in the Corona Book Fair and meet other published authors, and it was fabulous. And I was able to talk about Little Njimia Sings, my first book, Fluentry, and one of the patrons was like, oh, I know you from somewhere, and she recognized me from my interview on Fox News when I had my first book. So it was great.
Oh, that's so great. I am grateful that I'm finding bits and pieces of my voice back. I lost my voice, and someone called the lost and found. I think I just like a little too much happy talk. I had like 4 double header speaking gigs last week, and then a sing thing. So I think I overdid it, and my voice said, I'm going on strike. And then I got to the point where my voice, I was getting in touch with my inner male. And I think now I'm to the point where it's more like Greta Garbo. So we're getting there. I'm grateful that I normally have I appreciate what my voice, hopefully I'll be able to find it again, what it normally sounds like. What else are you grateful for?
I am grateful. Like I told you, I've been going and going and going.
Mm.
Well, on Tuesday, I was one of the sponsors for the Riverside Women's Leadership Conference. So I attended that on Tuesday in Corona, and that was a good time. So I highly recommend everyone attend it, and it is for women and men.
Mm.
And we had some gentlemen there in attendance, and I was able to connect with some of my fellow Kaiser Southern California Permanente Medical Group employees as well, or partners, I say, because we were partners as well. And I'm still a partner of that group. And it was a wonderful time to be had.
Great. I'm grateful that I got to do two of my favorite things. One, fashion show judging. I was invited to be a judge at the great RLC event, high fashion, two designers that I absolutely love and will hopefully get to model some of their clothes when I'm out on the carpet, as well as judging the beautiful models. And guess how much I won on the horse races of race 9. I didn't win anything from race 1 to race 8, but I am a CFB, come from behind kind of girl. And race 9, I put $10 on number 8, Imagination,
Mm.
and to win. And so between that, and I also won the trifecta in that race. So $299 later, I was very happy with the race.
Good, good.
One
And
more.
all righty. And I am grateful that I have also been asked to go out and help assist. Actually, while I was on that or attending the Congressional Annual Leadership Conference in Washington, D.C., I was called to do an interview for Proposition 50 because I am a proponent of saying yes to Proposition 50 for the election rigging campaign. And so, because I am a yes proponent and encouraging people to vote yes for that, I was asked to be interviewed. And while I was away, I had an over the phone interview. And I thought that that was great because here I am, not in Riverside or in the Inland Empire. I was in Washington, D.C. And while away, I was still able to have an interview. And I thought that that was pretty cool.
Great. And I'm grateful I get to go to celebrate I think I've been friends with her for 28 years. It's her birthday. And I'm getting that gerbil again. Can you just lower the volume just a little bit and see if that doesn't fix it? Yes, that does fix it. Thank God. I am grateful to be going to Las Vegas this weekend. And let me back up off mine and see if that fixes it. You saw, if you were on my social, you saw my squirrel yesterday. I love little squirrels, but there's a gerbil or something, a squirrel in my microphone whenever I'm with Tiffanie. And I don't know what it is. We're going to have to play with, I'm going to mute you right now and see if that doesn't help. All right. Yes, that helps. So somehow when you're on and I'm on, we get a gerbil. So I'll just unmute you when it's your turn. Let's go with that. I am grateful that I get to celebrate my beautiful friend Mary of so many years, and she knows me inside and out, for her birthday in Vegas. So I get to drive, not fly because of the blood clots, but I will be driving after this amazing event that's happening tomorrow night in is tomorrow? Oh, no. Friday night in the Skirball Center, Spirit Awakening. If you missed that interview with Akuyo Graham, please go and check that out on my YouTube TV channel, free subscribe, and you'll know. And join me on Friday on the red carpet. And then I drive to Vegas. So I'm grateful for that. All right, let's go to the bottom of the bun, which is, what do you like about yourself? This is weight training for good mental health, your own. If you know how good you are, not perfect, but 88% of the time, pretty darn good, then you'll be less likely to go look for love in all the wrong places. looking for likes literally on social media. I want you to know how good you are. And I have a great partner here who is good at knowing what she's good at. And that's what I want all of y'all to be able to say with a drop of the hat or a drop of a moose, what you like about yourself. So Dr. Tiffanie, I'm going to mute myself now and unmute you. And what do you like about yourself?
I like the fact that I'm still ready and willing to grow, because a lot of times people, once they get to a certain age, they close themselves off to learning and expanding and attending conferences, leadership conferences. You have to be willing to sit and listen. And that's why we have one mouth and two ears. And I pride myself on that. I've spent over 2 decades as a problem solver and a listener, listening to people, providing for people as a physician. And that was my profession. And I think the fact that I'm still willing to expand and grow and continue to apply that, but in a different way, in policy, and evolve it, because as a leader, you have to be willing to do that. So attending the leadership conference in DC, attending the leadership conference for the American Medical Association for campaign school, attending the Women's Leadership Conference in Corona, I think anyone can do what I'm doing in your field professionally. You just have to be willing to expand and grow.
Sounds good. I am grateful that I am a good, I'm a good mom. When I was a perfectionist, I did not think I was a good mom, because it didn't matter, all the good things I did as a mom. If I caught myself over yelling or, getting too emotional and making knee-jerk reactions, I would beat myself up. But, 88% of the time, I've been a really good mom, and I'm grateful that I don't have to question that, whether they call or don't call, whether we're in a good place or not a good place. I know in my heart that I did the best that I could with the time and the resources I had to be a good mom. And they're both in San Francisco. They're doing really well, and I'm so grateful for that. And just as a funny aside, I don't have my location tracker on them. Like, I don't know. I trust that what I taught them, and that they're in a good place. I don't have to worry about them. However, they both have a tracker on me, so that's the kind of funny thing. They are, why are you still? So that's the little funny on that one. What else do you like about yourself, Dr. Tiffanie?
I like the fact that I can be in the background, because a lot of times, I am often in the foreground and I do take the lead, but I like the fact that I am ready and willing to take the supportive role. And when you want to be the leader, you have to be willing to also follow. And I think a lot of times people always want to dictate, but you can't always dictate. You have to be willing to support. And I like the fact that I am willing to support.
Awesome. Yes, you definitely are a big supporter in many people's lives. So I'll finish by saying I am appreciative of my, get up and go. Even though, tonight's going to be a hard night, I'm going back to the yacht club to say goodbye. After 18 years of racing at this particular club, because I'm on blood thinner for the rest of my life, I will not be able to race sailboats because the increased chance of something bad happening and them not being able to help me live is real. So it's going to be a tough, but just knowing that I have to go through this. I was just going to fade into the night, but I think that it's important for me internally to appreciate the 18 years I've had at this club and the 34 years that I've had racing sailboats, and that it's always this and better. And my faith knows that, everything happens for my divine and best good. And even though I can't do this particular, that I can either feel bad for the rest of my life that I can't do it anymore, or I can stand at that line and look at the 34 beautiful years that I've been able to race sailboats and take underserved populations on the boat to teach them, the kids, and I'll hold that memory. So tonight it's going to be a sad but important milestone for me to recognize that how fortunate I've been to be able to do that for 34 years. So for that, I'm grateful. And that's it. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. If you join me every morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time, you will get to have breakfast with me and my co-host or whoever's here. And I promise you, if you do that, you will sandwich your day in the most positive way. Thanks for joining us for breakfast. And now for the topic of the day. Everything is awesome. Oh, wait, it's Dr. Tiffanie. I forgot. She doesn't like the bell so much. She likes this.
Hey, you! Hey! Hey, you!
What's the topic of the day?
Picked versus chosen.
So instead of asking her, oh, I know what happened, Dr. Tiffanie. I gave you the wrong link. I did give you the link, but I did a wrong link. So, boy, I guess I'm sicker than I thought. But I wrote a funny to introduce this. Usually I tell Dr. Tiffanie, I asked Dr. Tiffanie, what do you mean by picked versus chosen? And instead of asking her, did you read the promo?
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was kind of funny. Let's see if I can bring it up. I said, picked or peaked. I know I did that one. Picked or peaked. Are you slim pickens? And on my last birthday card, there was only 3 words that describe someone as smart, successful, and sexy as you are, who is still single. Picky, picky, picky. I know. I try to make myself laugh. But Dr. Tiffanie, what do you mean by picked versus chosen?
Well, picked implies like a superficial selection or action, and chosen suggests something more deliberate in your decision-making process with like a deeper consideration or more contemplation for the individual item or life reflection. And so I want to take this process, smack it, flip it up, process it down.
That sounds good.
Yep.
All right. Actually, I didn't make a mistake. We're good. I'm looking at an old thing.
Yeah.
All right.
So we're
Go ahead.
good.
Why did you pick this?
Because I go through social media, I talk to family and friends, and they have come at me with some different life scenarios. And I figured, this would actually be a good topic, because I've had to have this conversation repeatedly over the past 2 to 3 weeks. And if I've had to have this conversation with them, I figure other people may have had to have this conversation in different ways, and they may not have even realized it, because there is a difference between being picked or chosen, and we don't necessarily talk about it enough. And I'll tell you this, and you may not have even looked at it this way. From the time we are kids, we actually want to be picked. We want to be picked for the team, picked for an award, picked for a job, picked by the person we secretly want to be noticed, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
hmm And so we grow up with this desire of wanting to be picked, because picked means that we are good enough, right?
Correct.
Okay. It means that we are smart enough, talented enough, attractive enough. So picked, it makes us feel good, right?
Sure. You don't want to be that last one on the team that, nobody wants you on the team. That's a horrible feeling.
Right. Picked makes us feel validated.
Uh-huh.
It makes us feel visible. And people will clap for us because we want that validation, right? When you are picked, right? So
Makes
all
sense.
those things are reassuring, reaffirming. But when you take into consideration chosen is altogether different. Being chosen it isn't always a loud thing. It isn't public. You don't get a trophy for being chosen. Chosen is something deeper, and it's intentional, and it's something more personal. And we don't really even look at it that way. And so I wanted to look at it as something more intimate. Um, it's it's something that you don't necessarily see, because it's you get validated for who you are internally, not necessarily externally. And when you look at it that way, you get valued for your qualities, for your personality. And instead of stepping into the lives where you have been picked, you're stepping into the lives of where you are chosen. Does that kind of make sense?
I'm trying.
Okay, so let me break it down a little bit more. So,
Okay.
when you are chosen for something, it's something no one else can do. You're chosen for something individually, and it's a space that no one else can fill for you. Like, no one else can write the books that I can write. No one else can write the books that you can write. No one else can host Live with Dr. Marissa. You have been chosen to host this show because it's you. So basically, I want to break it down because I want us to stop waiting to be picked in a lineup, because you don't even belong in that. I want you to start choosing yourself for the life you
Okay.
were born to lead,
Okay. Yeah.
because being picked is about approval, but chosen is about purpose.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha. Um, Picked is external validation, external, and chosen is internal validation, knowing that you're one of a kind, wonderful, unique, with unique talents, gifts, and abilities to share in this world. Whereas picked is waiting for other people to say, I want you because you're important. You already know you're important, one of a kind, wonderful. So you choose yourself first to uh to be or have whatever it is. Okay, I get it now. Got it. Good. That you're right. It's a distinction we don't often talk about. And a lot of people are waiting for someone to uh, pick them when the most important person to pick you is you.
Mhm. Absolutely. I
I
think
smacked it. What did I
it's
do? I smacked it. What is it? Folded it. What do you say?
flipped it up, rubbed it down. Yes, you did. And it's okay when you're going for a job interview because it's different because you have to think about it. Are you living to be picked or are you living like you've been chosen? These are the things that we need to reflect upon. I can't answer that question for you, and Dr. Marissa cannot answer that question for you. But what we can do is start planting the seeds so that you can reflect upon yourself and decide what type of life and what quality of life you want to lead.
So important. This is this is why I do the show, is to encourage people to not wait, to go against the BS, the belief system that you can only do one thing in life and be good at it. You can do many things in life and be good at it. You don't need the permission of someone else to say, why don't you start a podcast? You can start a podcast. You can write a book. You can write poetry. You can start a volunteer organization. You can do, be, or have anything you want if you put your heart and mind to it. And it all starts with, what do you think of yourself? Like, do you think you're good enough? If you don't think you're good enough, then yeah, you're not good enough, right? You have to start by, I just read this in the meditation this morning, that it's, the only person that is going to give you permission is you to start with. And let's see, it says, okay, change your mental pictures and create new experiences. So if you would exchange joy for tears, forget the tears and turn to joy. You must not only realize that you're one with life, you're one with a fullness of life. So exactly, you I guess you were there when I was meditating this morning. So important concept.
That is just confirmation. And I think it's an issue because the problem with chasing being picked is that it can lead to burnout, people pleasing, identity loss, and the real life examples of issues with it is you can have problems and issues in dating, in jobs, and really in social media because you're chasing those likes and loves and everything else. And you can get caught up in yourself and lose your true identity.
Absolutely. I will speak on behalf of the 7 out of 10 of us who've had childhood trauma. This is easier said than done.
Mhm.
And actually, Dr. Tiffany and I share that. When you're told when you're young that you're good for nothing, that you're fat, ugly, and clumsy, that you are not all that, it's very difficult to shake that. And when I got to speak at the mission, Mondays at the mission downtown in Skid Row, at the union, not at Skid Row, but in the Union Rescue Mission that has had this mission to take women and kids off of the streets no matter what. To talk to these kids who were taken off the street, it's not easy to say to them, you can do, be, or have anything, right? It's like, come on, lady. you don't know what I've seen. You don't know what I've witnessed. And it is not great when you've had that kind of experience. It's not easy just to shake that, learning off. But if you can begin to choose the belief, the BS, the belief system that says, I went through all of that to shape and chisel me and create and alchemize me into power. So we have a superpower. When we have had difficult times as children, it is a way to give us a superpower to be stronger and more resilient and more compassionate and more creative. Couldn't we be that way without all of that pain? Maybe, maybe not. But the reality is we had it. And I choose to believe that all of that made me into who I am now, which I really like most of the time. So that BS belief system is how I choose to see that I am chosen, because I am holding that truth for myself. I just choose that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Because chosen is about your alignment, your purpose, and that your worth is not about validation. And you have to realize you have to walk in your purpose, your calling, and be true to yourself. And you can always show up as your true, authentic self. And I know that as I continue to be my authentic self, I will choose myself and expect and wait to be chosen and not to be picked.
Absolutely. Great topic. We're going to come right back. It's time for us to take a break for news, weather, traffic here on Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa. We're doing straight talk. We're doing Doctors in the House with myself and
Dr. Tiffanie Tate.
We're talking about Picked and Chosen. We'll be right back. Don't go away. In 2 and 2. Peace in, peace out.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
Hello, my name is Dr. Tiffanie Tate, and I am a veteran of the United States Navy. I am a physician who has spent over 2 decades problem solving and listening to patients. Please visit my website at Dr. Tate for Congress. That is Dr. Tate for Congress. Please support me, donate to me, help you, because right now you need my voice. There are only 21 physicians between the House and the Senate. There is a physician caucus, but they need more physicians to advocate for health care, for change. And if you want change and you want someone to be there to advocate for you, I am that person. I am the problem solver and the listener that you need. When patients used to show up, I never asked their political party. I asked them what their problem was. Again, Dr. Tiffanie Tate, the problem solver. Visit Dr. Tate for Congress. Help me help you. Paid for by Dr. Tate for Congress.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.
And welcome back. You're tuned in to Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on KCAA, home to the Asian Oprah, #1 talk in the IE. Thank you very much. And streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, iTunes, and of course my YouTube TV channel, where if you free subscribe and give me the finger, this one, not the other one, you will get a show about hope and happiness every weekday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And so glad I see eyeballs in the studio. We've gotten a heart and other reactions here. Go to the chat, not if you're driving and listening on the AM 1050 FM 106.5 station, but when you get somewhere safe. Love having the comments. Don't have a captain of the cashew gallery yet because no one's identified, but I do see the eyeballs. always happy to have you participate in this live show. And today you'll see I have in studio Dr. Tiffanie Tate because it's time for Doctors in the House. And today she's picked a topic that we don't usually talk about. And I love the distinction between picking and choosing. Are you picked or are you chosen? And she usually does research too. So, Dr. Tiffanie, what else is going on with pick and chosen?
Well, the issue is that I want people to reflect first, because have you been picked but never fulfilled? Just think about it. Throughout your life growing up, have you been picked, never fulfilled, either in a relationship or for a job? Growing up, I can say that I have. And or can you name a time you chose yourself even when no one else did?
I definitely understand the distinction on the picked and not chosen. I think both of us picked. I have a broken picker when it comes to men, and not uncommon to kids who've had childhood trauma. They pick partners who make them feel the same poor way that they did when they were growing up by whoever was not picking them, right? So I picked a man, good looking. I gotta say, he looked like Gregory Peck, and that's my Achilles heel. He's good looking, and I picked him, and I was not chosen and it wasn't his fault. And I want to make that perfectly clear. It was my fault. I chose a man who could not love me the same way. I was born into a home where my mom did the best that she could, but she could not love me in the way that, the ideal parent or mom would love their daughter. And so that's all I knew. So I picked a man who could not pick me. So totally get that.
It's interesting because when it comes to picking in relationships, it can be difficult, and you want people to work hard. And when I was looking up different things, there's a video I found. It's by a woman named Lisa Marie, and she was talking about relationships, and I don't think it was necessarily male, female, it was just in general. And she distinctly talked about picked versus chosen. And she was saying, picked looks good in a room and chosen looks good in a lifetime, for a lifetime. And I was like, I know, right? And she said, picked comes with conditions, but chosen comes with clarity. And we should not confuse attention with intention. And don't confuse someone reaching for you with someone reaching into you. And I thought that was deep.
Ooh, that's deep.
Uh-huh.
Say that last one again.
Don't confuse someone reaching for you with someone reaching into you. And picked comes from the moment. No, picked comes for the moment, and chosen comes for the process.
Boy, I had a vision of Patrick Swayze in that movie just now.
Mm-hmm. And a ghost. Right. And picked loves the look, while chosen loves the layers. And picked sees potential, while chosen invests in the person. And her final point was, don't let your desire to be picked keep you from waiting to be chosen. Drop the mic.
Hold on.
Or drop the moose. Right.
The moose just got dropped. Yeah.
Yes.
Those of you who don't know what that means, I was born in Canada. So instead of talking about the elephant in the room, I have the moose on the table. And instead of a mic drop, we do a moose drop. So good job, Dr. Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
So I also made a tie-in with a model that I use called Who Are You? And a lot of us define ourselves in terms of relationships. So I'm a mother, so I do something for my daughters. I am a host, I do something for my audience. I'm a speaker, I do something. So the how we define ourselves is in our role. And that's kind of like the picking, right? You have a role. What are you doing for someone? And therefore you want to make sure you're making them happy, right? And that's how you define whether or not you're doing a good job or not. Am I fulfilling what you like, right? That picking, do you like what I'm doing? And that's a dangerous slippery slope because one day they'll like you and the next day they won't. So instead of defining yourself in your relational adjectives, I'm a mother, I'm a wife, whatever, instead of that, which is focused on what you do for someone else, I like to call it core chosen adjectives for myself. I'm caring, I'm loving, I'm funny, I'm creative. Those transcend the picking. It's the choosing to acknowledge at the core of who I am, right? That doesn't change with conditions of people liking me or not. And that is very parallel to what we're talking about, picked and chosen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's interesting because I also found that this information about love crumbs.
Love crumbs.
Right. Since you wanted to talk about relationships, I figured we might end up going there a little bit. And you want to be wary of love crumbs because love crumbs are are when people want to just give you just enough to keep you dangling on the cord, but they don't necessarily want to go all in. And when you're getting love crumbs in a relationship, you have to be knowledgeable about what they're doing because when you're being chosen, you should know that you want someone who is actually committed and willing to give more. And that's when you want to make sure you are choosing yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I just realized I forgot to put our story up that we were going to be on. So I was just doing that. But so are you in a relationship where you are chosen? And I think that's a really important question to ask. And it's not just romantic, it could be, at work or at as a friendship or whatever your role is. Are you picked? Are you waiting to be picked? Or are you chosen? And I think that's a really good question to ask often and much because if you're waiting for someone to give you permission, right, to whatever it is. And personally, I'm in that space where I've allowed two choir directors to dictate how I see my own singing. I've been waiting and waiting and waiting to be picked when I just need to choose to know that I have a good voice, not today to sing, but I'm getting in touch with my inner male today, but that I have to choose and just choose and just say, I have a good voice. It's not going to be a great, not everybody's going to like it, but that doesn't mean that I can't choose myself as a singer and just go forth and sing, right? Instead of waiting to be picked for a solo or whatever it is. So that's my learning today.
hmm And yes, because love crumbs, just so that everyone understands what those are, those are small, inconsistent signs of affection, attention, or interest that someone gives. It's just enough to keep you engaged, but never enough to build a real relationship. And so it's a random, hey, are you up text every few days or every few weeks? Just enough flirting if you're in a relationship to keep hope alive, or occasional sweet moments followed by cold silence. So it's the promises of engagement, or hey, we'll hang out, or hey, we'll do something, but never the true actual fulfillment of that promise. Something to keep you in emotional limbo.
And it doesn't necessarily point the finger that that person that's giving you the love crumbs is bad. You know, I'm always doing a little bit of tough love on ourselves. Like we chose that situation. So at some point, take responsibility for the fact that you, whatever it is it more comfortable? Does it give you an excuse to play small? Does it give you an excuse to complain all the time about how they're bad? Yeah, that's a big one. I've been really focused on, you know, when bad things happen or things that we don't like happen, we release a rocket of desire to go in the opposite direction of something we want. But we have a tendency, this is Abraham Hicks' law of attraction, we have a tendency to fixate on what is still wrong instead of paying attention to the other direction of what we want. So we continue to beat the drum of I hate this, I don't like this about them, I don't want them, blah, 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 instead of going, okay, I know I've asked for better, so now let me look at what's possible that's better out there. I think that's a good application point, a happy 88 challenge. I've been starting this thing. If you use hashtag happy 88, then I'll see if you're taking my challenge or not. So this would be the challenge, and you can write whatever, you know, you're doing for it. And then once a week, I'm going to pick a winner to give them something, because then I know you're actually applying the stuff that we talk about.
hmm Yeah, you just might feel like you're being managed instead of prioritized. So you still have a relationship, it's just the quality of that relationship. And you're just emotionally being strung along, kind of kept as a backup plan or an ego boost or an attention source. So you might feel like maybe they'll really choose me one day, or they must feel something. Um, they keep coming back. They're still here. Um, this is better than nothing, right? So maybe if I just stay, this might get better. And so these are that's the emotional trap of the crumbs. And I can't tell you what to do. Dr. Marissa can't tell you what to do. Only you can tell you what to do.
Yeah, I have to put the moose on the table myself. My friend said to me, when did you discover that your husband was emotionally unavailable? And I said, oh, she said, before you got married? I said, yes. And she goes, well, then who's really emotionally unavailable? And that was like, boom, that was a moose drop on me, which was like, oh gosh, I picked a man, right, who I knew was not going to choose me. And that is a horrible but good example of what you're talking about. I took that crumb, and it's like making a $50 out of a 5-cent move. So anytime he like gave me any kind of a compliment, which was very rare, I would blow it up. Or the worst part is I made him appear better than he was. People would say, so what does he do for a living? Right. And I would say, oh, he does sales and marketing for Budweiser, when really he was a delivery truck driver for a bottling company that did sell beer and soft drinks. There is that a good example of crumb?
But those are the signs that you are accepting love crumbs, because you are propping him up, and sometimes you will overanalyze gestures like, oh, okay, he sent me a text. Oh, he smiled at me, or she smiled at me, or she said I'm sorry, or she gave me a hug, or she gave me a pat on the back, or she put her head on my shoulder. Oh, she must really like me. Or you're always waiting for that text, for that call, for that clear sign. Yes, you're longing for that approval, or you're defending their behavior. Oh, they're just busy. Oh, they've been hurt before. You make all the excuses, or you get to the point where you're just afraid to ask anymore for fear that they'll leave. You just come to their rescue. Like you said, you defend everything for them. And so that's where you get to the point where you're eating those crumbs.
Yeah. And I'm now realizing that I've actually lived a pick versus chosen moment. If you don't mind, Dr. Tiffanie, this is a true story. I walked in after a long business trip into the living room where he was watching TV when I was still married, and my husband, at the time he was my husband, he didn't even look up when I walked in the room. I've been gone like 2 weeks. He didn't even look up. And I was so pissed, and I stomped up the stairs and I said, I can't believe he doesn't listen to me. He doesn't attend to me. I jumped under the covers and I was crying. He doesn't pay attention to me. And all of a sudden I heard a voice come out of the clouds, and it said, do you pay attention to yourself? Do you listen to yourself? Do you love yourself and value what you say and think? And man, it was like that moment of clarity, of boom in the head. Oh, I'm getting chills just thinking about it. That was the moment when I knew that I was not choosing myself, and I was waiting to be picked by someone who could not pick me. Ooh, how's that for a great example?
Absolutely. Because you have to love yourself, and then others will follow. And if you can't love yourself, how can other people follow suit and love you too? Because once you start loving you, other people can follow the example that you set for yourself. And I think that that is important. Actually, I don't think I know that that is important. And I actually want to say that when it comes to evaluating yourself and reassessing things, you have to just move into choosing you.
I'm sure you wrote at least one poem.
I did. I did. And that's
Did I know?
right. And this is one of from Poetry. And so this is called I Wanted. And it says, I wanted you to be my end game, but as it turns out, not so much. I wanted you to be the last man that I would ever touch. I wanted you to be the one with whom I'd say I do. I wanted you to be my forever, but that is just not you. I wanted you to reciprocate my love, but that just didn't happen. When it came to your love for me, in that area, you were slacking. I wanted so much for there to be a future for you and I. I wanted to be the last woman you loved, your ride or die. Not getting what we want is a sad reality. Despite us not being together, you will always have a friend in me.
That's beautiful. And sirens, means that it's true. But final word, Dr. Tiffanie, on this great topic. Are you picked or are you chosen?
I would say don't just wait to be picked for something you don't even want. Choose what makes you come alive, because that will help you live and thrive.
There's a new poem. My final word is, if you can't approve and choose yourself, how the fork do you expect other people to choose and approve of you? I should have some kind of that's my moose. That's the moose drop there. All right. So let's see. How do we find Dr. Tiffanie Tate? She is active on her social. I think you saw the website for her work right now. Dr. Tiffanie Tate for Congress.
No, it's just Dr. Tate for Congress. DrTateforCongress.com. Dr. Tate for Congress.
And then on social, you are?
I am still Dr. Tate for Congress.
On social? Oh, it's a separate one than the other one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And let's see. Free subscribe on my YouTube TV channel. And give me the finger. This one, not the other one. I'm celebrating this this week. I didn't tell you, Dr. Tiffanie. We are celebrating 700 consecutive weeks on the air, on camera for this show. So I wanted just to take a minute to celebrate that. And then we are out of Asian Oprah giveaways for the jazzfest.com Catalina Jazz Festival, but you can still get tickets 2 weekends in October. Great place to experience the best jazz has to offer. Thanks to Art Good. Thanks for the Asian Oprah giveaways. It's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Dr. Tiffanie, take us out.
Now go and have the best day ever.
See you tomorrow.
Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pay.